Hey there, welcome to Live Happily Ever Now. I am your host, Carrie Briggs. If you found this podcast, that is no accident. It means that you're ready to feel good, heal your life, and manifest the life of your dreams. I can't wait. Hello, and welcome back to Live Happily Ever Now. I am your host, Carrie Briggs. Welcome back to another amazing episode. And today I want to talk about gentleness and softness. We are entering the holiday season. Thanksgiving was a couple weeks ago. And with that can come up a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions can come up during the holiday season. Maybe you have toxic family members. Maybe you have lost a loved one. Maybe you just don't connect with the holiday season because there is so much inner stuff that comes up, and it's been really hard to navigate in the past. I know for myself, yes, I've hit a couple of those marks, but for me, the biggest one is a lot of wounds are coming up. A lot of triggers are coming up that are not forcing me, but showing me what needs to be shifted or changed in my world. I have been moving through some very heavy, sticky emotions personally, feelings of not being good enough, feelings of unworthiness, feelings of I'm not enoughness. And then on top of being around toxic people who are constantly shoving down my throat that I am not good enough, that I am not doing enough, that I am not enough. And I know deep down that none of this is true. I have done so much healing work around the worthiness wound, around the mother wound, around the toxic feminine, around, being around narcissists, a lot of that. However, that does not mean that it doesn't still, deeper aspects of it still come up for me. And it just gives me another option or another area to look deeper into. So if you're feeling a lot of overwhelm and fear, this is completely normal for this time of year. We're also entering into the winter element, and the winter element is the most yin there is for the healing. It is the most yin of the seasons. It is the most inward time. This is why most people have a very deep disconnect with winter, because it forces you to look within. It forces you to go within and to be with your thoughts and to be with your own emotions and to look at how your life is going. It forces you to look back on the past year. What changes were made? What changes were not made? And this is my invitation to you, is to look at those things and to look at all those emotions without judgment for yourself, without berating yourself, so to speak, because we can sit there and we can judge ourselves for not doing enough or being enough or shifting enough or healing enough. And I want to cut that out now. The enoughness needs to stop. You are intrinsically worthy. You are enough. But our ego, our subconscious, our society tells us that we're not enough, that we don't have the right car, that we don't have the right clothes, that we don't have the right job, that we're not making enough money, that we're not, spending enough time with our kids, we're not spending enough time with our spouse, we're not spending enough time with our family members, we're a horrible daughter, mother, wife, sister, whatever it is. And it puts on so much pressure. And then we internalize all this pressure, and then we turn it into, we're bad. We're not enough. I am not loved. I am not lovable. I can never do enough. I will never be happy. I will never, get my needs met. I will never be rewarded. Whatever it is. These are a lot of the emotions that are coming up in my world or the world of my clients, in the collective that I've been, in my monthly membership, Unlock Yourself. This is a lot of very normal emotions. And we've been processing them and working through them. And I just taught the water dragon yesterday, and we were moving through fear and overwhelm and this very, very deep seated fear that we're not enough, or we don't know, we're not where we feel like we should be. I think that's a big one coming up. We feel like we're fearing because we don't know where we should be, and we don't know what we should be, and we haven't even tried to start to figure it out. Now that's a huge thing in your 30s. I've heard a lot of people say 20s you just play, and then 30s you realize you haven't started your life. I had all of my kids when I was very young in my 20s. So I started my life very early, and I started having that shift in my 20s and my 30s. I know what I'm meant to be doing, and I've been stepping into that power. So I understand that fear. But on top of that, like I have an online business. My income helps pay for the majority of the expenses in this household. I am a stay-at-home mother. So I work from home while being a stay-at-home mother. If the kids are sick, I'm the one taking care of them. If they don't have school, I'm the one taking care of them. If they have to run to doctor's appointments or whatever, I'm the one taking care of them. I'm the one that makes dinner every night. I'm the one that does the shopping. I'm the one that does like all of these things. And the Christmas presents, like all of the things is all on me because my husband works out of the house, and that's not on him. Like I'm not shaming or bashing him in any way. I'm just explaining the reality of the situation. And with that comes so much emotion, so much, thanklessness, so to speak. So I've been working through that like martyr energy of it's all on me. It's all on me. And having to have the tough conversations with my husband and have the tough conversations and be like, I need support. I cannot do this on my own. It's also not my responsibility to do it on my own. We have 3 children that we both have. We have this one house, we have 2 cars, we have groceries, we have bills, but all the responsibility should not be planned on me. And I'm offering this information up to anybody who is maybe in a situation like this. Maybe it's not with your spouse, maybe it's with a friend, maybe it's with a parent, where your needs aren't being met and they need to be communicated. And while also living in and moving through all of these triggers, all of these emotions, all of these situations. So maybe you've been with a family member, you went to Thanksgiving and there was a lot of shame or judging towards you, and learning to process those and not internalize them. It's a very, very intense emotion to feel. It's very intense to work through deep, heavy emotions without internalizing them, because we're human and we take these emotions and we don't choose to. Our basic instinct is to, it's my problem. I'm the problem. Like Taylor Swift, I'm the problem, it's me, like that energy. So when your brother or father or mother or sister or cousin or aunt or whatever starts being like, oh, what do you do for work? And then you explain to them and they're like, that's not a real job. Or they shame you because you work from home. So that means you can drop everything and leave whenever they need something from you, or you're not doing enough. Or maybe you work in a high-end job and it's still not, whatever the situation is, we tend to internalize it. And then it's me, I'm the problem. But before that situation, you were completely content in your life. You were content with things. And maybe we internalize it so much because we're like, maybe we aren't happy in that situation. But we internalize all these emotions. And instead of looking at it from like an outside point of view, we say, I'm the problem. I'm wrong. I'm bad. I'm not enough. They're right. And we give away our power to all of these other people. We give away our power when what they say becomes our truth. And again, you may be in a place in your life you're like, I don't do that anymore. That's amazing. I am so incredibly proud of you. There are times where that doesn't bother me at all. I have a very strong online presence, and with that online presence comes a lot of negativity, a lot of haters, a lot of guilting and shaming for being a spiritual mentor and charging my worth. There's a lot of hater on that, and that needs to fucking stop. Like, spiritual healers should be paid exactly what they're worth, because we are here to help lift up the planet. You don't yell at the doctor for paying you. They're charging you. You don't complain about the phone that you paid for. Just because somebody made it does not mean it's free. So healers should be paid exactly what they're worth, because when we are healing, we're helping to heal others and we're helping to lift up the planet. Anyway, side note. But there's a lot of shame around that. There's a lot of shame around me being a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mother or a stay-at-home parent, and you're expected to do the things all the time. And the parents who don't work in the house don't see everything that you're doing all the time. This the drop off, the pick up, the sick days, the running around, the groceries, like all of the things. Plus having a business, plus having things. Moral of the story is it's a lot. It is a lot of things and a lot of emotions. And the winter time, the yin energy, the holidays, it's like this massive concoction of messy emotions. It's like, hey, we're going to take every emotion that you didn't feel for the entire year and we're going to cram it into a month. And we're going to give it to you, and you have to process all these emotions during a month. And then, like, if you don't process them, they're actually going to manifest into physical ailments into your life, and they're just going to like wreak more havoc in your life. But like, hey, we're showing you all these things, and like, it's like this big soup bowl of like anger, frustration, like hate. So everything that you can think of that you haven't processed during the year goes into this bowl from like Thanksgiving to Christmas. I swear to God. So it's an opportunity, it's an invitation to look at them. So when anger comes up, look at that. What am I angry about? What triggered me? And if you have to like personally, it's like I am a verbal processor. That is how I process most of my emotions. So this is my steps. I'm going to show you my steps. So if emotion came up, so this morning I had anger come up, very, very deep seated anger. I have no idea where it stemmed from at first. And so I'm like, in my anger, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna feel my anger. I'm just really fucking angry. I'm just really angry. Like I told the kids, I'm like, mommy's having an off morning. I'm really angry right now. And just like, I don't take it personally. And then after I brought them to school, I'm still in this like angry bubble, and it got a little better. I voice messaged a friend because I'm a verbal processor and I was able to voice it out. I'm like, listen, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm angry. So then I started talking. And as I was talking, I understood the problem presented itself. Something happened last night that really, really triggered me. And I was holding on to it all night long. Did not know this. So, okay, I moved out of anger, and then I moved into sadness, and then I moved into grief, and then I moved into martyr energy. So, but okay, all of this is happening in a 10-minute span. So all of these emotions bubble to the surface. I went from angry 1 minute to completely sobbing and bawling the next minute. Started releasing the emotions. So then I'm like, okay, how do I release this more? I am very, very a firm believer in moving your body. Movement is one of the fastest ways to move energy. So I moved my body. I did yoga this morning, which I would normally do cardio, but I knew I needed softness. I knew I needed gentleness. I needed to ground back into my body and open my heart because I was so closed off with that anger. So as I'm doing this, I'm letting the emotions flow. I'm letting the tears flow. I'm letting the frustration, and like it's all bubbling up. The anger is bubbling up again. The sadness is bubbling up. This is not fucking fair, but like everything I could think of. I'm not enough. I'm not loved. Everything I could think of was bubbling up to the surface during moving my body. But as I was finishing my yoga practice, it started to settle. And then I'm like, I think I need a little bit more. So I did another quick 10-minute session. And by that was over, I did like another meditation. I meditated when I woke up this morning. And so this is like now about an hour time frame. And I have moved through such heavy, deep, powerful, intense emotions that have risen up in a very short, like not a short amount of time. It came up exactly when it needs to, but I was able to move through them. And now I feel 100 times lighter than I did when I woke up this morning. I woke this morning. I'm a completely different person right now than I was this morning. Yes, there's still a lot of things that have to be done, but now I have a plan. Now I'm like, okay, I need to have the communication. I need to have the conversations. I am no longer going to take on all the responsibility, and all the responsibility is not mine to take on. I am handing out support. Like I now have support with my bookkeeping from an amazing bookkeeper. I have support from my OBM and my VA. I have support from, my husband, and, my children are old enough that they can help around the house. So I'm seeking out support in all of these ways to help support me. And so I feel safer moving through my emotions. I have my mentor, and I messaged her this morning and I'm like, listen, I am falling apart this morning, and she helped me through it. I have friends who I can call upon. I have my membership where yes, it is for them, but it's also a spiritual container to process and show that we are human beings and we all have emotions. I'm a very vulnerable human being. That is one of my gifts. And a lot of people, they fear being vulnerable. And then on the flip side, people don't like vulnerability because they feel like they're seeking attention. That is not how I am. I just show you how to move through emotions. So like I have all of these different supports around me, but this morning when I was stuck in anger, I couldn't see any of that. I was clouded by that anger. I was clouded by that frustration. And now that I've processed and moved through my day this morning, I was being gentle with myself. What does my body need? It needs yoga, not cardio. What does it needs more water. It needs tea because I have a cold right now. It needs gentleness. It needs slowing down, which I normally would have probably sat on the computer and worked and done a lot of like back end work this morning, but I knew I needed something else because I paid attention and I listened. So all of this said, my invitation to you right now during this holiday season, if a lot of emotions are coming up, is just sit with them and don't judge yourself. And that's the first thing we're going to do is we're going to judge ourselves. I'm bad. I'm worthy. This is my fault. My favorite prayer to do during this season is Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian prayer. And it's thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. Or you can say, I'm sorry. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. Whatever order it is. Some people say you have to say in a specific order. Some people don't. I don't believe in a specific order. And then I also connect down deep into my body. So I connect to Gaia, I connect to God, spirit, universe, creator, whatever you want to call it. I connect to my highest self, and I connect to my dragons. I do Reiki on myself every single morning. So I did a lot of Reiki on myself this morning, for sickness reasons, and B, for healing and allowing the energy to move. I cleared out my water meridians, which were to help remove fear and overwhelm. I cleared out and opened up my heart and my pericardium because they're very closed off right now. And also because the Rose Dragon is coming out on the 12/12 portal, so next week, with a massive heart opening. So like I've been preparing for that heart opening in my own way. So I'm doing all of these things. I have all these amazing tools that are helping me move through my emotions. So if you have these emotions coming up, be gentle with yourself. And the first question, like, first of all, give yourself a hug. I am all for self-love. Hug yourself in whatever way you need to until you take a deep spontaneous breath, or you yawn, or you hiccup, or you burp, or something like that. That's your nervous system regulating. And then yawn. Whew. And then look at the emotions. Give yourself space to look at the emotions. 5 minutes. Journal if you need to. Call a friend. Be like, hey, I am angry right now. I don't know why. Maybe you know why you're angry, or I'm upset right now and I don't know why, or whatever it is. Can I just talk to you? And if you don't, send me a message. Send me a verbal message. I'm a verbal processor. I might not get back to you right away, but sometimes just process, like saying it out loud, is enough to get it off your chest. So my inbox is open for that. Like, I'm always open for that. Again, I might not get back to you right away, but I will 100% witness you in those moments. I will always listen to the messages, and I will always witness them. So that is all I have. I'm seeing if there's anything else from the dragons or from spirit. And their biggest thing is the Rose Dragon is really coming in deeply with, next week is the 12/12 portal. It is a new moon. It is playing with dragons. It's going to be a 1-hour masterclass on how to open the Rose Dragon is going to do a heart opening and an activation, and then deepening into our own spirituality on a very powerful level, and understanding the importance of prioritizing play in our life, and why it is so, I know I say important, but so is very important this time of year, especially. So I love you all. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye. If you made it to the end of this episode, that means you are truly committed to your goals and open to miracles. I am so proud of you. If you want to get more Carrie, make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode. Your experience means a lot to me, so I welcome you to leave an honest review. And you can follow me on social media at Carrie Briggs Coaching. If you really want to get in on the action, sign up for my monthly membership, Unlock Yourself, or reach out for more powerful one-on-one work. I love you all so much. See you next time.